when it comes to remote hiring, you can't do that with a person because you can't mix isolation with remote. It's just a bad recipe. Also with remote staffing, it's more involving in actually getting somebody up to speed in what you want. So you've got to be prepared in the time involvement that you need to invest to get somebody working. So maybe a basic admin person you might be able to get for $15, $20 an hour in Australia. And remotely, somebody with the same type of level of education, experience and intelligence you could get for around $6 to $7 an hour, equivalent value. So the obvious lure in saving and meeting your responsibilities that you want allocated is amazing. But what people always underestimate is just how, like, if you got somebody starting locally, you know, you're gonna kick off everything, and you're gonna have it to a point where, you know, they're gonna get up to speed in 2, 3, 4 weeks. With the remote, it's basically 3 times as long to get up to speed, most likely, just because of the little obvious things that you assumed are fact, they have no concept of. That you need to update them, you need to show them, you need to tell them about your position in that market, who else are your competitors, what are the things that you need to be mindful of, what are the things you've got to be aware of, and so on. A lot of the basics that you expect somebody to have that when they work for you will need to be addressed. So you've got to be prepared for that. Now, if you're prepared for all of those things, I don't want to discourage anybody, but I want everyone to know that there is a remote staffing or offshore labor hire solution in your recruitment mix that you should very seriously consider. You'll be denying yourself extra profit margins and opening up bottlenecks if you're swamped in certain areas if you don't apply this type of staffing in your organization. But when you do apply it, you've got to be prepared for it. Now, at Remote Staff, we will do all the recruitment legwork. You know, we'll go find the candidate. You could go interview somebody. You will trial them if you like, experience what it's like working with them before you commit to the idea of going, well, look, let's build a long-term relationship together. But that whole little process itself isn't going to be enough unless you know exactly what you need done. So if you hire an assistant and you're just generic about, well, look, actually, I need you full-time, but technically I've only got 4 hours of work equivalent for you a day. The rest of the time you're cheap enough, so just hang around. That ain't going to last, because people need to be challenged. They need to be felt that that they're making a difference, that they're involved, that they're a true extension of your own team. So if you kind of hire somebody and you're just, because they're cheap for you, you just like treat them as whatever, they won't last around. It won't be a sustainable model for you. You need to treat them as a real extension of your own team and value their time equally as you would your local staff. And when you do that and have them equally involved, so when you have a meeting, you kind of put them under the umbrella and discuss that this was part of the meeting, or look, we filmed this meeting for you to update you. Or the more you involve them in your team, the more they will add value to you. And it takes, for me on average, no matter who I hire, it takes me on average between 2 months to 4 months before I can say, aha, I now have them fully taking care of the responsibilities I've allocated for them.